Dear Dr. Tush, it's been a great privilege to know you through the last 44% of your career. When we first met, I was totally new to the world of banana breeding, not even a baby in that world. You already had 22 years of service by that time. Since then, we've interacted throughout my years of being directly in the NARO IATA collaboration on banana breeding, during which we had many discussions while also working to improve the partnership. Our interactions grew and were extended with Gates Foundation funding of banana breeding, the Breeding Better Bananas project, and its successor, Accelerated Breeding of Better Bananas. We got to know each other even better through the long-running biofortified cooking banana collaboration between NARO and QUT. Throughout our interactions, I always knew that you were faithfully representing the interests of your country and the programs you were responsible for. Your vision created the deep expertise and impressive facilities for banana biotechnology in the Uganda Laboratories today, and likewise for banana breeding. When we first met, you were leader of the National Banana Research Program. When turnover within NARO pulled Dr. Agona to lead NARO as Director General, you were selected as Director of the National Agricultural Research Laboratories at Uganda. Throughout this last chapter of your career, you successfully led the institution and mentored your replacements in the National Banana Research Program. In each role, you provided strong leadership of the program or institution you were responsible for. You rightly put the interests of your country first and didn't hold back from strongly advocating for their best interests. As time went on, our acquaintance deepened into friendship, sharing with each other the mysteries and challenges of parenting adult children. Dr. Tush, I have deep respect for you and wish you all the best as you move into the next phase of your journey. I know that you will be there for those in NARO and the Banana Program who seek your guidance. You're a capable and deeply experienced leader. Tush, I wish you many blessings and much joy in your new role.
Good day, Tush. Today you celebrate your retirement, but I think we should celebrate not the retirement, but celebrate you on the occasion of the retirement. We know each other since 1994. At that time, I was professor in Leuven University, and we had several projects on banana together. Time has flown. Now we are 2023, and when time has flown, it means things were good. Things are well done. And when I came back in 2013 to IITA, I remember the way you welcomed me in your office. A very warm welcome. I was in fact coming home somehow. And also I remember another moment when I was in your office, how we dreamed up together the name of Narita, NARO, ITA, the name for the new cooking bananas. This was an exciting moment when we dreamed that up. It was showing how to the world we are together. But it's more than that. And Narita is an end product. Under your leadership, we developed an integrated NARO ITA banana breeding program, specifying each other's role, showing where we rely on each other in one way or another, how do we contribute to specific things, and who leads what in a specific activity. You led also your country in the campaign to eradicate BXW. Of course, it's what with your team, but that made a big difference for the Ugandan banana farmers. With you also, and I was not involved, you had the CFT trials on banana. There's so much to be said. And you made sure that many people were trained and got a PhD, and they're current leaders. Think about Priva, Ivan, Roboni, Alex, Godfrey. And let me stop here, because I might forget a few. You evolved from a scientist dealing with specific activities, for example, doing research on Zigatoka, on banana weavers, into a leader in banana, building a platform for banana research in Uganda. And you did it in such a way that today the NARO banana team is the most efficient, strongest and biggest banana team in Africa. Showing it can be done, leading in fact the example for other countries. And the quality of the work is such that people from all over the world, from all continents, come and visit you to collaborate. As such, you're leaving a platform, a legacy, and basically you are a monument in banana. And monuments are going to stand up and stay there forever. That's how I'll remember you, as a monument. Enjoy your retirement, but hope we meet again.
My name is Dr. Musabona. I've been the Director General of NARL until 30th of April 2023, when I served my term. I'm now DG Emeritus. I'd like to devote today's time to talk about my good friend, Professor Tushemereirwe. So, from the very beginning, when I knew Professor Tushemereirwe in 1988, we always been calling him TUSH, and he also released the name in TUSH and so on. But how did I come to meet him? So up in those days, when you look at government support, agricultural research, and then of course the research activities, I think I must have needed too much time on our own, too much time of basic idleness. So I remember we also knew in a community, we had to socialize. So my first time I encountered TUSH even much better, was when we became both members of the club. And then the club was basically my Roa drinking group. And he was one of the members, and I remember at one point or another, he could even pay for some of us. I found him good on the job, but of course to cement the relationships, the Marua group was a very big group where we could discuss. We could talk about science, we could talk about politics, we could talk about even religion, and we could talk about other social aspects of life. And this brought people from within the community, and mostly the top-notch scientists at that time in the institute, people like late Chenaye, late Mangeni, Dr. Araki, and so on, Dr. Again, we're all members of the club. But not to spend too much time on that, I believe that time we considered TUSH as one of the most exposed, because amongst us is one of the first to go for his masters. And when he came back, I think he must have made some good savings. At that time when he came, he bought a bicycle. And buying a bicycle because I was the richest person among ourselves. Unfortunately, he did not ride a bicycle. So he learned riding a bicycle, I think, from Commander here and so forth. So when he used to go for Marua, that time you're not having good salaries, but of course you want to partake of the fermented kind of drinks. And of course the base would have been beer, but you couldn't afford. So we came up with a formula. You want to really feel good, first take Marua, then you come and take a bottle of beer, and then you feel like you're on the top of the world. And the following day, same routine. But now from the scientific point of view, when I came, I was working as a pathologist. At that time before now, we were being referred to as scientific officer, pathology, scientific officer, entomologist, and so near an entomologist, but professionally he was a pathologist. So we look at the nascent growth of the banana research program. He was one of the key personalities that we got engaged. We worked with the likes of Wilberforce Tushemereirwe, the likes of Dr. Karamura, and these are the 40 that followed from that program. So his contribution to the banana research program, I must say, it has been very tremendous. And one thing that I give a lot of credit to, when it comes to building relationships, building rapport with the donor communities, especially where the money was coming from, the knowledge was coming from, it was at the forefront. And I strongly believe, and look at the growth research and banana research program, it was basically attributed to Professor Tushemereirwe because he built up the core teams. The scientists, when I look at people like Dr. Privanamanya, when I look at Dr. Jerome Kubireba, when I look at the growth of, say, in the biotech research kind of unit, it was at the forefront. So TUSH had basically like he had a good nose for smelling where money was, where intellectuals were, and then of course at the end of the day also sharing the staff of where they could be taken for capacity building. So to me, I wouldn't be in a position to tell the number of people he could have were supported to go for further studies. No wonder. I know that time we had challenges like the Black Seeker token, via the banana bunchito virus disease. Of course, the banana bacterial wilt is one of the things that we came up with. And I think also somebody was good at grabbing opportunities. When the issue by fortification came up, I think it was one of the funders or fomenters actually of trying to come up with the capacity. People like Dr. Renaitre, Dr. Andrew and so on. He worked with them, molded them, he formed them. And at the end of the day, with the donor community, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was so instrumental working with them, USID, there was ABSP1, ABS1P2, and then I believe if the donors had the confidence in you, I strongly believe support will come up and so on. And then to me, one thing that I also remember very well, when he started calling himself professor, we wanted to know why is he being called a professor? And of course, we wanted to know what his contributions were. But of course, he came to realize this was conferred to him by Queensland University of Technology because of the kind of staff he was said expertise was supervising, and then his contribution to the national research agenda and so on. And of course, finding for solutions to some of these challenges. One thing I may also remember is that TUSH, when he was head of Banner program, at that time was head of the National Process Program, I think we are one of the two scientists after getting our masters. I think at one point or another, when NARL came into place in 1992, we are both posted here, we remain on the station here. And through the landscape of our contribution to the research, I strongly believe TUSH at one point was Research Officer 1, even Mito was Research Officer 1, and there was a convening made by the NARL Governing Council, and we were quite amazed to hear that we have been given rapid promotion from Research Officer 1 to Principal Research Officers. We never became Senior Research Officers because I believe our contribution towards that. And again, when the NARL Act was enacted in 2005, that established the current research institutes as well as the programs that are there. One thing I may remember was that since banana belonged to the crop subsector, and the NARA was trying to say, let us consolidate research agenda of the commodities. So there was this attempt of trying to move our banana research program to NACRI, the National Crop Research Institute based in Amlonge. I think that was a turning point. I could see the body language of TUSH especially. I don't think was amused by that. And one of the things that we're looking at, shifting banana research program to Namulonge from Kawanda here, we look at the merits. I thought you were saying that was it done in good faith? Are we looking at the technologies that are being generated in Kawanda here, or we look at the resources? We're looking at the financial, we're looking at even the human kind resources, and even resources that are being built here. Where was now the point of convergence? And we thought it was being done in bad faith. It's something that by then I became the director of NARL Kawanda. And I believe at that time too I became also the member of the NARL Governing Council representing the parish. And I fought this tooth and nail, not until I convinced the then council that Banda program should remain here. But of course, it's not because I look at it, so by looking at the vantage point of where the program is situated, the vantage point where we build collaboration. We have talked about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, look at the USID, the ABSP kind of 1, 2, and I think even 3, and many other people and so on. So it's not just like the best move for that. But notwithstanding, I believe Of course, in leadership, we have challenges and like and so on. People's expectations will never meet all of them. And of course, there are areas where we could have succeeded, the areas where we could have had certain shortfalls and so on. But I wouldn't say like TUSH, this could be attributed to him. To me, one thing that I like with TUSH is like a very open man, very open-minded. And to a point, one point or another, I'll tell you, I reminded him, what is saying that for me is Muchiga, whatever and so on. But one time I was disillusioned about his being a Muchiga. We had a serious battle when Namalere, there was an attempt to give away Namalere to some farm. And of course, I'm not party to that discussion and so on. So I sent him to represent me as DG in his capacity. But I think the person who conveyed the message came more say to a threat unto them. So to a point when they called me, was so frustrated. I think he almost even developed high blood pressure. And they called me late in the night, say, DG to come and support us, whatever, and so on. So when I went to Namale, then I had a candid discussion with the person who was pretty intimidated, a general of all people. Then I said, but Tush, you've always been reminding me that you're Muchiga. How come this time you didn't show that Muchiga is in you? How can a man tell you to move within 3 days and you followed you? Muchiga doesn't believe like that. So now I'm trying to demonstrate that I'm Muchiga than you have, but you laughed it off and so on. And then Tush as a leader, I think he has done the best to come, or the best he could have done, given the current situation, whatever. So one thing I realized, he did a lot of fund mobilization, he did a lot of mobilizing the humankind resources, he did a lot in actually building the capacities of these kind of people. And maybe from the spiritual aspect, it's something that one time I'd gone to sign an MOU, NARO and then Church of Uganda, and I was told actually, Tush is a very good synod member and of his diocese, and I was being told like at the end of the day, they may call him even closer to be at the provincial secretariat. So I think, never know. The church is still young, and I think apart from his life as being a scientist, I think of course also the president talks about the ninth pillar of development as spiritualism. Maybe from this kind of research, maybe going to be a spiritual leader somewhere. But then again, I also know he has a life to lead and so on. I think maybe he could be guiding at the right time and so on. And I strongly believe that all will be well with him as long as he carries his current positive attitude. That Tush is a true friend. And it's a friend you can count on, come rain, come sunshine. I wish you very well in his retirement. Okay.
Professor Tush, I bless you. This is Caroline Nanchinga, Mary Bukiriza. I would like to say that I've known Dr. Tush since 1991, when I joined research, which was then the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, before it was NARO, when I was a young scientist. And during that time, we began to establish the banana program. By then, with a few development partners like IETA, UNIBAB, and Rockefeller Foundation. I can't forget the very hard work you used to do when you are doing your PhD in the 1990s, I think 1994, and myself plus other young scientists were doing our masters. I recall your hard work on banana black cigar tobacco when you are doing your PhD, and I can't forget the time when you used to ride your old bicycle. But then it was called a Phoenix. You were working very hard, moving all the banana fields in Kawanda, collecting data. No wonder you're a very profound scientist. And when you finished your PhD in the University of Reading, I can recall, because of your hard work and profound leadership, when Dr. Krama was leaving as our leader by then, you were appointed as our team leader. I've enjoyed working with you as our team leader. You build the capacity of us scientists. You build the capacity of agriculture extension of the people you're working with, and even the farmers ourselves. I can recall you trusted my leadership. You believed in me. and you made me a coordinator for on-farm research. And coordinating the scientists, even the local government and agriculture extension as we are promoting the bananas with farmers in all these areas, that over 20 sub-counties in central Uganda. I thank you for having believed in me, while at the same time you're mentoring me. I thank you very much. I also recall when I was doing my PhD and eventually when I came to be a visiting scientist with IT, you believed in me. Even where people did not believe me, you believed in me. And I thank you for having worked with all the development partners in Rockefeller Foundation, the way you helped us to develop many project proposals that made the banana program to boom with a lot of money. In fact, I can even remember how we are named as the program of the year, the Center for Excellence in Bananas. It was all during your years of leadership. We really appreciate your efforts for having made the banana program to raise to that level. Center for Excellence on Bananas. And it was recognized internationally. We really thank you. And I can also recall when you supported me to go to IT as a visiting scientist. It was all because you believed in me and I excelled there. And even my hard work today is because of the banana program and you are making as a leader. I thank you very much. And I also thank you for having led us as a team to fight the battle of banana bacterial wilt, which was going to actually finish the bananas, our staple food in Uganda. You worked very well to lead us in the task force with the Minister of Agriculture, other development partners, even taking all our leadership and good experiences to other 6 countries in Eastern Southern Africa. We really thank you. We had to fight that battle and win it. And by the time it came to 2008, when I left the banner program and I joined the biological control unit, it was all because of your leadership and support. I thank you. I thank you very much. And above all, in 2016, you believed in me and you appointed me, you seconded me to be the first chairperson for the Kawanda Staff Research Circle, which has now grown to heights. Many people, scientists, workers in Kawana has benefited in this circle, which you have been a patron for the first, I think, 7 years. We really thank you. Right now, our circle has got investments in UAP, and many people have benefited. They can sit and stand testify upon this innovation that you put at Kawanda. We thank you for all the years we've been with you in NARO and Kawanda, and we are very grateful. As you are going into your retirement, I just want to say we bless you. Well, I can say keep your doors open. As you've been our very good mentor, keep your doors open. We shall always come for a counsel because you've gone to retirement earlier and you are soon coming. We bless you, I bless you, and bless all your next endeavors as you are going to your retirement. Thank you.
I'm Josephine Namaganda, and a scientist who has worked on the banana program from the time it was created. And it is that time when NARO decided to reorganize research to arrange it along commodities that the banana program was created. And it was that time that I started working with TUSH. We were both scientists working on the banana program, and we started to work with the banana diagnostic survey to identify the problems that faced the banana farmers. And at that time, Dr. Eldad Karamla was the head of the program, but soon he left to head INBAP, so he was replaced by TUSH. And at the time TUSH came in, we had funded projects which were going on, but when TUSH came in, there was writing more and more and more projects. So soon the banana program had lots of projects, funded projects, and these projects all had slots for capacity building, both in terms of infrastructure and human resource. So the program started recruiting lots of research assistants, lots of technicians, because there was plenty of work to be done, and yet the NARO human resource was still very small. So the banana program managed to grow very big because there were funds for capacity building, and everybody who was trainable at that time trained, the scientists and the research assistants, everybody got trained to master's level, to PhD level. And until there came a time when there were no more people to train. So the banana program started sourcing trainees from other programs or even institutions. Sometimes it would get students from Makerere University, and it funds their research work, so they would finish their degrees. One time the banana program also trained for the region under Baker. So we had students coming in to do masters from Burundi, from DRC, and they were doing their research here with the banana program. So that made the banana program, and I must say, Dr. TUSH has an ability to bring people together. So with such a large force, he managed to make us into one big happy family, speaking the same language, and everybody was happy. And actually the banana program became the envy of everybody. Another thing I know about TUSH, he's approachable. So, every time you had a problem, be it technical, be it personal, you would really feel very free with him, and you would approach him and talk to him, and he would listen and he would advise accordingly. So that also made the family, remain together and happy.
I'm Kubiriba Jerome. The moment I entered the NARO in 1994, I was put almost immediately on the supervision of TUSH. That was even before he finished his PhD. And since that time, we have been working very, very closely. We worked much more closely under the banana bacterial wilt control when he was spearheading the efforts of Uganda to control that disease, which had just got in and devastating many plantations and creating a lot of outcry in the country. Together, we were able to control that disease effectively. I think now it's there, but very, very little. We still have the bananas, which we thought at the beginning would have been completely destroyed. Those efforts were even replicated in the region, 6 East and Central African region. So that was a super achievement between us. Then from there, I became a program leader under his care again, and even there we achieved so many things. I want to highlight a few. Many hybrids have been released, both in Uganda and Tanzania. We have increased productivity of bananas among the banana communities, not at the demonstration level but at community level. We have initiated industrialization of the banana sector, and those are the 4 things that I think are the key things that we have achieved with TUSH. TUSH is a father. I can say because of that long introduction, there was a saying in the CG world that when you want to ask TUSH something and you are not getting it, you ask Jerome. because they believed that 70% of Jerome was in TUSH. So I am happy to have interacted with him for this time, and he has built me, he has made me what I am, and I can only wish him a very fruitful retirement. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be celebrating Tush's conclusion of his tour of duty. I first saw Tush, and he was always called Tush. I first saw him, I think around in 1994 or early 1995. And that was at a meeting, I think at around Fairway, at Fairway Hotel. And from I was coming from Makerere, and there was a banana meeting which I had been asked by my mentor at Makerere University to attend and represent the group at Makerere University. And people from banana research from Kawanda were making presentations, and I saw a certain person called Tush making a presentation about banana diseases, I remember, and I think I liked the presentation. Then the next time I met him was when I had joined the banana research team at Kawanda, and at that time there was an invasion. There were reported invasion of banana streak virus, and the program had planned to carry out a national survey to map this disease. Where is it, and its intensity, and I happened to have been selected to be in a team which was led by TUSH, and was supposed to cover the Western region. And that's the first time I spent quite a lot of time with him and learned a lot of things, and also jokes, etc. And yeah, so then after that, he shortly became the head of banana after Dr. Karamla left to join by then something called INBAP. And when he came into the banana program by then was a small team. And I personally worked with him very closely. I can assure you, since then up to today, I've worked with him closely. So immediately after taking over banana program, I think around 1996, the program grew rapidly by projects, by number of workers. I think probably within 3 or 4 years after him taking over the banana research, banana program was probably the largest program in NARO. And this is a gentleman I have worked with from 1995 to today, and I have never had a serious disagreement with him. We've never quarreled, but we've done a lot of things together, and we've achieved a lot of things together. So this is a gentleman I celebrate. He's my role model. I'm currently the head of a program myself, and many times I try to do like him, though many times without success. So bye TUSH.
I'm John Adrico, Program Leader for Biodiversity and Biotechnology Program, NARL. I have known Dr. Tush for over 15 years now. First was in 2006 when I came to work in this laboratory, the biotech lab, as a trainee in preparation for my PhD. In 2012, after I came back from my PhD, he gave me an opportunity to work under the ABSP2 project because he said he thought I was going to contribute. So I was involved in the generation of GMO banana that is resistant to BXW. That was the focus at that point. And he's a friendly person. Some particular things I've known about Dr. Tush is that he listens. There are not too many leaders who listen, but he is one who listens. There was a time there was some disagreement between me and him, and he called me to his office so that we could be able to resolve that issue. And for me, that is a rare trait in a leader of today. So I'm really, really grateful and thankful for having worked with him. I learned so many skills. He gave me a lot of responsibility, a lot of tasks to do, which were above my age, but because he provided guidance, I could say I achieved to his expectation, and many times received appreciation from him for the tasks that I did well. He's one leader who appreciates when you perform. So I'm really, really grateful, Dr. Tush, for having worked with you. As you go into your retirement, I'm praying that you will even thrive while there. May God bless you so much.
I met Tush when I was just a fresh graduate from Makerere University. When I joined NARL where they were the senior scientists. I'm very grateful for his mentoring us. And he's a very nice guy. I have no comment about we learning. For us, when we joined research, we were really taking the word advice from the senior scientists, and this Tushemereirwe was among the senior scientists who could go and consult them. I remember one time he told me he assisted me on how to search for literature in the lab when I was just a very senior, very junior scientist. And then another turning point was that Tush has been a parent to us. You go to him with a problem. He normally is a lecturer, is a professor. He talks 1,000,001 words, but out of 1,000,001 words, you pick two or 100,000 which are valuable to you. So I'm really very grateful for his mentorship. I am what I am because Tushemereirwe contributed a block to my professional career. And even as a program, when I was appointed as a program leader, he has really supported the program to make sure that the program come back and become really. I'm very good for that. He has supported the source laboratory, and now it is somewhere. He has struggled hard for us to ensure that we get equipment. I'm very grateful. So, the Professor Tushemereirwe, I wish you the best in your retirement. Expect consultation from you. I am what I am because Tush contributed a building block to my career.
I am Preva Namanya Wesije. I have known Dr. Tush for a very long time. It's this year exactly 30 years since I found him at Kawanda, when I came to Kawanda as a young graduate. I remember him riding a bicycle from the main office area towards the senior staff quarters, where he lived with his family in the very last block where there are flats. I, of course, looked at him as very senior up there, and we really never got to interact because I was doing hematology and he was doing his pathology, his PhD, I remember at the time. And I later on got to interact with him when he became program leader of Banana. I was then in tissue culture, supporting breeding work. What I remember, my memory of Tush is that TUSH is one person who has this parent attitude. He is honest. TUSH will be tough. He will be tough with us when we made errors, but he will give a second chance and correct you with a parent attitude. That's one thing that I know about TUSH. The second thing is that TUSH is one person who is patriotic. I recall when we were developing he was very instrumental in developing the biotechnology capacity at NARL in the early 2000s, when we were doing tissue culture and the biotechnology was starting. He is one person who stood up for every bit to happen. So the building of infrastructure, the discussions for funding and partnerships, the push for training. He believes in training. He always tells me, Priva, the best way to get things done is put a student. Because once a student is there, work will have to be done. And then you have the end result. Projects come and projects end, but students will deliver. So we thank you, Dr. TUSH, for training us and leaving a legacy of people that have taken on after you. I mean, I came in as a young girl, and by the time Professor TUSH is leaving, I am a program leader. I don't take that for granted. It has been his mentorship. He has mentored me to learn to be a parent to a good extent. He has mentored me to be a leader. He has mentored me in training. He supervised me as a PhD student. And he's given me an opportunity to grow. Then his patriotism I have said it in two ways. He's one person who encouraged me in particular to stand up for myself, but also to stand up for the Institute, to protect and defend the rights of NARO, where NARO needed to have the advantage of building capacity for nationals. He pushed for it, and he encouraged me to do the same as well. I also remember that my going to train as a student in Australia was his initiative. I had some reluctance in some of the decisions we were making at the time, but TUSH told me, Priva, you must go. You must leave and go for training. He would not let me make any weak decision, and I thank you for that, TUSH. TUSH also is this person who, whenever he's looking for someone, when he calls me, for example, he first asks how I am, even before he asks for what he wants. So he's a people-oriented person, and I have learned a lot of that from him. And his mentorship has been very instrumental in seeing me grow into the leader that I am now. I thank you, TUSH, for mentoring us. I thank you, TUSH, for being who you have been. We will miss we miss you in NARO, but your footprints are there, and they will forever last.
My name is Okrut Asha Wilson. I have worked in the banana. It's now a program, but before it started, I joined here in 1989. I got to meet TUSH. At that time, Sakira was the head of what used to be called the Banana Cropping Systems Project. In 1990, we did quite some work together with Sakira as the leader of the small project under IDRC that was funding us. I guess some little money was beginning to come through Rockefeller, but it was mainly IDRC, which was a Canadian group that was funding banana. We did mainly there was not much work, but mainly work to do with the testing of the efficacy, especially of fungicides, TUSH being a pathologist, alongside somebody who was called Tumuina, who left banana. 1990, some hope began to come along, and we began to do some little work
1991 with work which was to do with the rapid rural appraisal, trying to establish the constraints of the banana that the farmer meets when he's actually growing bananas. In 1991, end of 1990, Sakira was leaving and Karamura was now coming in as the head of the program. We continued to do some work until they managed to galvanize some money. DRC leaving and Rockefeller now giving us more money. This time to do after rapid appraisal, we now did the next study, which was the diagnostic survey study, which was really to quantify the problem, the constraints that the banana we had established the banana farmer had. And we continued, this time joined by other bodies like Makerere with the Bayayo group, and then we had the IIT group with Cliff Gold and his group. So we went out together and doing a diagnostic survey study. So I had a lot to know, TUSH, having to work directly under him. In 1995, he won some, I think around 95 now, he began to do his PhD and I was directly working as his technician. Remember, we started from, as I talked about, 1990, when we had to earn 2-digit figures for money, for a salary. So you can imagine 2-digit figures or 3-digit figures for a salary. It was not imaginable, but we had to bear around. We came all that way until 1993-94 when we joined NARO. And then in 1995, he was now doing his PhD, and I was his direct technician, having to man everything for him while he was in Reading University. I did all the work as his right-hand person, establishing the experiment, collecting the data, recording it, all the samples in the lab until he came back, and I thought he appreciated. I have got to learn him a lot, even after Karamura left and he took over as the head of program. We had very good working relationship. He mentored me very well. I had a lot to learn from him, and I still continue to learn from him. He has been my right-hand man, and I've not had any problems with him. Until of recent, I continue to benefit from him. I like to wish him very well wherever he goes. I still think that the world being round, we are going to meet somewhere. I still look forward to working with him. I know that wherever he's going, there is going to be probably some consultancy. He will not forget me, just like I'm not forgetting him. He's been such a wonderful person. Of all the people I have to probably forget, he will be one of the last people to be forgotten. He's such a meek, humble, and nice working person here. Who wouldn't like such a person? I want to wish him very well. God bless him and bless wherever he goes. Let him also ask God to bless us so that we meet again and do our thing the better way. In Jesus' name.
Long Stephen, I worked with the banana program together with the Dr. Tushemereirwe, professor. Worked for him from 97 April up to now. We're together working together. There's no problem. Payment, he pays well. There's no complaint. That's why I thank him for what he has done for us. We thank him for what he has done. We thank him also for lifting the project from down up to where it's now standing. That's why I'm happy for the program and the institution also. Another thing, I thank him. I wish him a good retirement, whereby he also be okay, no problem, no sickness, and be with God all the time through his life. Thank you very much.
Amanya gange nze Stephen nga nkoze mu banana okuva mu mwaka gwa 1994 n'okutuusa kati. Mukulu TUSH, Dr. Tushemereirwe okuva mu mwaka gwa 1994. Naye dokita kyemumanyiiko ye dokita omuntu mulamu, atambula, atanyiiga nnyo. Waliwo ebiseera bwe nafunira obuzibu ne mmala ebbanga lya myezi ng'ebiri nga sikola. Naye Dr. TUSH yannyamba n'alabirira amaka gange, nange n'andabirira nampa emmotoka nentwala mu ddwaliro. Era TUSH ye muntu amanyi omuntu wa wansi. N'olwekyo neebaza ebbanga lyonna lyenkoze naye lyakoze nange, era siina nnyo bingi byakumwogerako naye mwagaliza mirembe nga bw'agenda okuwummula. Mukama amuyambe amukolera ebirungi byonna ebyetaagisa mu bulamu bwe obw'ensi eno, okusinziira byanjagaliza oba byayagaliza abantu abawansi atali nze nzekka, naye nze nyongera okumwebaza nti yeebale nnyo, yeebalire ddala. Mukama amuwe omukisa mu ekyo kyatukoledde.
My name is Olivia Tireijuka and I work as a senior admin assistant in Director's Office. On behalf of the support team in Director's Office, that is Josephine, the office assistant, and Edward, the driver, allow me to recognize and appreciate our outgoing director, Dr. TUSH. First of all, for being a father to all of us, the support team in this office. You've been a mentor, a counselor, a leader, and our boss. Your guidance has been helpful and has inspired us every day in our work. We are proud to have been a part of your journey. Thank you for encouraging us to do our best and for always being there for us whenever we needed help, especially financially and spiritually. We cannot thank you enough for the impact you've had on our professional growth. We have a lot of testimonies, but because of time, we've decided to write individual letters which will be shared with you. We pray that God guides you in all your future endeavors. Thank you once again and God bless you all.
Yes, the journey with Dr. TUSH and myself started way back in August 2002, and it has been a journey that I will ever live to remember. I'm very grateful to where he picked me from and to where I am now. Literally, when I remember how I came, a person who didn't know even how to use a computer, but he also took me on, but still he continued guiding me. It's something that has seen me to the capacity of being able now to manage independently. Sincerely, that can always be done by a parent. Then it came to my education. He paid school fees for all my education from master's up to a PhD. Many times when they requested for school fees, I clearly knew he was not my father, but still I would come and ask for school fees. The man would willingly pay, and that really shocked me. And then after the master's, I didn't have the passion to continue doing a PhD. But again, he sat me down and said, "Young man, you should go to school." And he gave me an example of himself. And one thing I saw is it is very, very good to be mentored by a person really you like. Then eventually I picked advice and went for the PhD, which has when I see where I am now, sincerely, I see the future. And for that one, it is only him that has brought me to where I am, and I will always live grateful. Now, when it comes to mentorship, I had an opportunity to serve on agro project where I got very many skills from him direct, especially when it came to reporting. I would go to his desk to revise what I would have written. The man would say, "Oh, you cannot write like this." And some of those statements in reports, each time I came back to my desk to make revisions, I would imagine, oh, and it built good skills in myself, and these are the skills that are seeing me, that have been able to see me where I am. Then eventually, I can't say much because it is really too much. It is still a challenge on how we shall be able to pay back to all this investment. If he was not the man behind these successes, we wouldn't know where we would be. I just pray that God grants him more health, and what I would want is to continue working closely with him even during his retirement. And what I can say is thank you, Dr. Tush. Wherever you need wherever you need you need to send us to do anything for us, we shall always be at your disposal. We are very grateful. Thank you. And a happy stay in your retirement. But I cannot say it is retirement. It is simply a transition to again arranging to working with us in the future. Thank you.
Hello, Tush. This is Tinda here. I would like to say thank you for the work you've done. Thank you for the service. Thank you for your tour of duty, specifically in the banana research community. So how do I want to remember Tush? I remember I was about 23, 24 years, walked into Kawanda. Didn't have no idea what I should do after the university. So I boldly walked into Tush's office, found the secretary at the time, said I wanted to see the boss of the office. She said, the boss? We have no boss here. We have Dr. Tush. I said, may I know Dr. Tush? May I talk to him, please? And interestingly, Tush was walking out of his office. I think he was going for a short call, I think. He said, hey, young man, how are you? What do you want? I said, well, I'm so-and-so, and I'm looking for work. Tush asked me what I was doing at the time. I was working with my father at a petrol station, making some sizable amount of money. So Tush says, why do you want to leave private sector and come to work with us? I said, sir, I want to do what you are doing. That's research in agriculture. And he says, okay, any results? Showed him my partial results. And he said, well, come back next Thursday. I thought he was one of those guys who toss you out of the office and throw you away. And well, I came back the following Thursday. Indeed, as he had promised, he gave me audience. And he quickly called one of his senior scientists, who is still around today at the station, handed me over that scientist. And that day, which is close to 20 years ago, here I am, Tinda. I came in here with black hair, no beard. Now here I am with white hair and white beards. And I can say Tush took a chance on me. And the little strides I've made in agriculture research, he's been part of the footprint. So Tush, we wish you all the best. I wish you all the best in the next tour of duty, be it in private sector, wherever you are. I will surely reach out to you always, and who knows, God can make our paths cross again when you are out there in the private world. Thank you, and God bless you and your family.
Nze babiri Elivansa ni mulongo nkoze ekawanda ebbanga ddene ne Dr. Tushi natandikawo mu 1996 okukola naye mu byonna nebaza Mukama Dr. Tushi abadde mulungi gyendi nkolera wano kwa administration nga office attendant era mwebaza ankoledde ebirungi naye yamperera omwana school fees Makerere nebaza Mukama olwekyo Mukama kye yamukozesa n'ekirala nebaza Dr. Tush nti tubadde bumu naye ebbanga ddene naye nga simufunyeeko buzibu bwenna ate nange tanfunyeeko buzibu. Mwebaza olw'okunkuuma olw'okumbeezaawo wano ku administration nga tukolagana nabo ng'era omukozi ng'office attendant ebbanga ddene nga ndi wano. N'ekirala nebaza byonna byankoledde omusaala abadde agumpeera mu budde ng'era abewaka tebajula nga nange kennyini sijula ng'omulimu gwange ngwenyumulirizaamu nnyo paka kati. Era n'ekirala neebaza Mukama amukulembere mu byonna gy'anaagenda, Mukama abeere wamu naye amuwe ebyasinga okuyaayaanira.
I'm Companji Winfred, a senior accounts assistant of National Banana Research Program. I've known TUSH for quite some time, about 25 years ago, before he became a program leader. I've known him as an ordinary scientist, then a program leader for National Banana Research Program, a director for NARL, which is uncomparable. As a leader, for me, I think he has excelled, and because we all know what TUSH has done. And for me, actually, every time I tell people that I work in Kawanda, the next question they ask me is TUSH there. Even when you say NARO, sometimes NARO is associated with TUSH. We know that during TUSH's time as a program leader of Banana Program, TUSH wrote very many projects: the Rockefeller Foundation, the IDRC, the Gatsby, to mention a few. So that tells us how hardworking TUSH was. He was not only known as a program leader of Kawanda, but for me, I think he was on the world map as a scientist. Besides TUSH being a great scientist, TUSH is a parent to all, not only his children, but a parent to all of us. I know he has touched everyone, and he has listened to everyone. He has not discriminated from senior to the lowest person in Kawanda. I remember sometimes people would go to TUSH for help and for support on school fees, for support on patients, or support, and TUSH would try to help. At least he would not send you away. Somehow, somewhere, he would at least give a hand. Personally, I took TUSH as a friend, despite the fact that he was our boss. But he was friendly, and it was that friendliness in him that would make me free to communicate whatever I wanted to communicate to him. He had put himself to our level so that we open up, and we don't take that for granted. Personally, I don't take it for granted. TUSH would call you if you have done anything that is not right. He would call you privately in his office. Sometimes he would tell you, Winnie, after work, I need to talk to you. There's something I need maybe you to guide me on. And when you go there, he says, Winnie, it is like this and this. You have not done right here. I think you need to improve. you need to do better, which is not common with the most leaders. It takes both leadership and the parenthood to handle your workers in that manner. Sometimes Tush, as human, he would be cross with you, but that would be just for few hours, and he would be back to normal, and he would discuss normally as though nothing has happened. Tush sometimes would be passionate. He would sometimes feel with you. I remember 23 years ago when I had a sick child. My firstborn was sick and admitted in Mulago for 4 months. And it was critical. Spending 4 months in hospital, I had a job to protect. I had a child to take care of. I was torn into two, and I didn't know what to do because I needed a job and I was not settled. I needed to take care of my child in the hospital for 4 months. And when I called Tush and I was desperate and I didn't know what to do, Tush said, Winnie, settle down and take care of that child. It is the most important thing in your life. And when I came back after, of course, if we spent 4 months in hospital, it means I came back after 4 months to work. And I got surprised that I still had my job intact. And I had never forgotten that, because which company, which organization can keep a job for over 4 months? Tush, I am always grateful. If you want to know the goodness of the person, it is when that person feels with you at the hardest time in your life. Tush, you felt with me when I was at crossroads, and you were able to tell me, take heart, take care of your child, and you'll come back after it is done. Thank you very much, Dr. Tush. It didn't stop at that. Of course, the immunity of the child went down. I kept on coming and going away, and he was okay with it, and even he would call you and say, Winnie, are you okay? Is the child okay? Tush, God bless you. I have no better word to bring out my appreciation. I can only say that as you retire, may the blessings of the Lord follow you wherever you go, and may your children and your next generation share on those blessings, because you deserve it and you have worked for it for your next generation to benefit. Thank you very much. God bless you always.